on the Queen Mary and thought the trip was great. They always felt like wherever they went, their Heavenly Father had a hand in it. They used to sing, "I'll go where you want me to go." They arrived in Southampton early in the day and drove their car on the wrong side of the road, the left, which was a very new experience, but Jim is a good driver. In England, Jim rented a 100-year-old manor house in a little village called Robin Hood's Bay. It had 18 rooms with 14-foot ceilings and no heat. The first night they slept on the floor in front of the fireplace, and Marge cried all night. The next morning she called and ordered a ton of coal to heat the place. The people didn't believe she was serious, and a man showed up on a bicycle with a little gunny sack full of coal. He said there was no way he could deliver a ton of coal. She burned the sack of coal in one day and kept that little man very busy while they lived there. She ordered 16 pints of milk from the milkman, and he nearly fainted. Marge ordered hamburger from the butcher, and he put a piece of wax paper in her hand and plopped the meat on it. She said, "I don't want that bloody meat." He went completely sober and very attentive. Marge didn't know at that time that bloody was a very bad swear word in England. Soon she was showing the butcher how to cut and wrap meat. Everyone knew where the Americans lived because there was so many lights on in the house. It was in England that Marge took art lessons and began painting. The kids enjoyed playing on the moors along the little streams while she painted. They went to the beach often, visited Sherwood Forest, and ate fish and chips. But the best thing was the missionaries. The missionaries visited their home frequently and shared their experiences, and they were happy to get a piece of home and a can of root beer. Wherever they went, Jim and Marge have loved the missionaries, and they were a great blessing to their family. The family went to church in Scarborough, and the branch tripled in size while they were there. They received many David O. McKay Member Missionary Awards. Jim was in the branch presidency, and Marge was MIA president, and she taught the youth how to put on a roadshow. Many people in the branch were surprised that Marge and Jim talked and socialized with them. Apparently, there was a lot of class distinctions, and even members did not accept one another if they were in a different class. But that changed when they saw Jim and Marge's example, and that it was a lot more fun to be friends. They moved 3 times while in England, mostly to get nearer to the church and work. It takes a lot of time to travel on little winding roads at 25 to 35 miles an hour. Jim was sure the English just followed the cow trails when they built their roads. Also, the English fog is something to consider. While in England, they learned a lot about America and free enterprise as compared to socialism, and they felt thankful for the USA. Marge's mom and dad visited them while they were in England. They visited one of their ancestors' homes and toured Europe together. They enjoyed some special times and drove near the Iron Curtain, which was a solemn experience. The Italian Riviera was warm, especially after cold England. The French Riviera was beautiful, but Marge was so anxious to get back to the United States after nearly 2 years in England that Jim said that she was the only person he knew that was unhappy sitting on the French Riviera. They sailed back home on the new ocean liner, the France. They sailed through one of the worst hurricanes of the century. The steward strapped them in their bunks and bolted shut the portholes. They could hear the ship raising high out of the water and then crashing down. It was scary, but they didn't really feel scared. Jim was the only one on board the next morning that showed up for breakfast as the ship continued to rise and fall. He was a Navy man. They sailed into New York Harbor at 4 a.m. on October 16, 1963. They thought they would be the only ones up on deck as they sailed past the Statue of Liberty, but the deck was filled with people, all unanimously started singing America, and everyone was in tears. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King. The sun came up over the skyscrapers, and even the big bright billboards looked beautiful to them, and they drove on the right side of the road.